with the same lesson, yesterday's previous lesson, The Gift of Maggie, written by O. Henry. So what was the story about? The story was about the gift which are presented by Della and Jim to each other. So yesterday we saw how Della, she could not manage to bring the gift with the little amount what she had saved, that is $1.87 she had saved, but she was not able to buy the gift for her husband. So what she did finally, she decided to cut her hair, and she cut her hair and she sold her hair and got the money, that is $20 she got, and with that money she was able to buy a very nice platinum fob chain for her husband's gold watch. So now she has come back home. The next part of the story you will see now. She has come back home with a gift and she is waiting for her husband. As usually at 7 o'clock, Jim comes back home. So at 7 o'clock the coffee was made and the frying pan was on the back of the stove, hot and ready to cook the chops. So she is preparing some type of snacks for her husband as he is coming back home from the work at 7 o'clock. Jim was never late. Della doubled the fob chain in her hand and sat on the corner of the table near the door that he always entered. Then she heard his steps on the stair away down on the first flight, and then she turned white for just a moment. She had a habit of saying little silent prayers about the simplest everyday things, and now she whispered, "Please God, make him think I am still pretty." Now Jim, he was never late, always he used to come early, on time he used to be. So now Della could hear that he is coming on the steps. That sound was heard by Della. So she is praying to God. After seeing my hair, he should not be upset, he should not be angry with me. So she is praying to God, "Please God, make him feel that I am still pretty." Okay, so he should not feel anything about me, he should not dislike me. Like that, silently she is whispering and praying to God, sitting in one corner of the house, corner of the table. The door opened and Jim stepped in and closed it. He looked thin and very serious. Poor fellow, he was only 22 and to be burdened with a family. He needed a new overcoat and he was without gloves. So he was they were not so much financial fit, okay. So they were just a middle class family. Middle class also we can't say. They were still in need of some of the very needful things, okay. So he was going without the coat only, and he was of less age also, and in this less age, in this small age, he was overburdened with the family responsibilities. He was not having a proper coat to wear. He was going without the gloves. That shows their financial conditions, in what condition they are. Jim, so he came inside, he closed the door. Jim stopped inside the door, as immovable as a setter at the scent of quail. So his eyes were fixed upon Della, and there was an expression in them that she could not read, and it terrified her. So as soon as he stepped inside and closed the door, he saw Della, and when he saw, he was shocked. There was no expression on his face at all. He was neither angry nor he was happy, or no expression, no horror, no disapproval, no surprise, no sentiments, no emotions were there on his face after seeing Della in that condition in which she has cut her hair. So he simply, so a setter at a scent of quail means something you have smelled and you are just not moving, shocked, okay, immovable, you are not able to move, that like that condition he is. He simply stared at her fixedly with that peculiar expression on his face. So peculiar, with peculiar you cannot make out what expression is it, what emotion he is going through also we cannot make out. So that was the condition of Jim when he first saw Della without the hair. Della wriggled off the table and went for him. So after seeing that Jim's reaction, no, he was not giving any reaction at all. So seeing that, Della goes to her husband, and what she says, "Jim, darling," she cried, "don't look at me that way. I had my hair cut off and sold because I couldn't have lived through Christmas without giving you a present. It will grow out again. You won't mind, will you? I just had to it. My hair grows awfully fast. Say Merry Christmas, Jim, and let's be happy. You don't know what a beautiful, nice gift I have got for you. So she is going and convincing her husband. See, you don't worry about my hair. What to do? I could not make the money. I was not having the money. So I was urgently, I wanted to buy some gift for you, because without giving you a gift for this Christmas, I was not happy. I wanted to gift you the present for this Christmas Eve. So that's why what I did, I cut my hair, I sold my hair, and I bought a gift for you. You don't worry, my hair will grow very fast. She is convincing him. You have cut off your hair? Jim asked laboriously, as if he had not arrived at that patent fact even after the hardest mental labor. So still he is not able to believe that she has cut her hair. Okay, he must be thinking that simply she might have folded the hair. So simply again he is asking, he is assuring himself, have you cut your hair? He is asking. Jim looked about the room curiously. You say your hair is gone, he said with an air almost of idiocy. You didn't look for it, said Della. It's sold. So you have cut your hair, you are saying, no? So where he is going to search where the hair is. So she then says, no, it's not here. I have sold the hair and have bought a gift for you. I tell you sold and you gone to it's Christmas Eve, boy. Be good to me, for it went for you. So what she's telling you, don't worry, it's a Christmas Eve. Be happy, and my hair is gone because of you. Okay, because I want to buy gift for you, I have sold it. Maybe the hairs on my head were numbered. She went on with sudden serious sweetness, but nobody could ever count my love for you. Shall I put the chops on? She is asking Jim. See, my hair is nothing in front of you. Okay, my hair, I can value my hair, but my love for you is very valuable. You cannot value my love when compared to my hair, she is saying. So shall I put the chops for you? Will you eat? She is asking. Out of his strength, Jim seemed quickly to wake. He enfolded his Della. For 10 seconds, let us regard with discreet scrutiny some inconsequential object in the other direction. $8 a week or $1 million a year. What is the difference? A mathematician or a wit could give you the wrong answer. The Maggie brought valuable gifts, but that was not among them. This dark assertion will be eliminated later on. Jim drew a package from his overcoat pocket and threw it upon the table. So what he is doing, he is taking out his coat and he is putting on the table. Don't make any mistake, Dell, he said, about me. I don't think there is anything in the way a haircut or a shave or a shampoo that could make me like a girl any else. But if you unwrap that package, you may see why you had me going a while at first. So you don't misunderstand me, my reaction or whatever I gave. Okay, it is not because you have lost your hair. That is one thing, you have lost your hair, for that I feel. But the gift what I got, what is there in my coat, if you see, then you will understand why I had reacted in that way he is telling. If you unwrap that package which is there in my coat, if you open and see, then you will come to know why I had the reaction when I saw your hair. First like that. White fingers and nipple tore at the string and paper, and then an ecstatic scream of joy, and then alas, a quick feminine change to hysterical tears and wails, necessitating the immediate employment of all the comforting powers of the Lord of the flat. So what she is doing, she is removing all the strings and she is unfolding the paper of the gift what he had brought. Who had brought? Jim had brought to Della. So he is unfolding the gift and he is seeing, she is seeing. And then the ecstatic scream of joy. So she is screaming out of joy. What was that inside? Okay, then afterwards, after a few seconds, no, she came down, she cooled down. Oh, what is this gift? It is of no use for me. What was that gift? Then after some time, no, tears rolled down her eyes. What was that gift? For there, the combs, the set of combs aside and back that Della had worshipped for long in a Broadway window. So what Jim had bought? Jim had bought a gift for Della. That is a set of combs for her hair. Okay, some jeweled combs were there. okay, which were fully ornamented with the jewels. Very beautiful jeweled combs were there, which were perfectly going on with the Della's hair. But what is the use now? Della is not having no more hair. She is not having hair now. She has already cut her hair very short. So these combs were of no use to Della. Okay, maybe it is like the comb is like the clip which she can fit in her hair, which she can decorate her hair with. So that type of comb, the tortoise shell combs and all, he had brought the jewels in it. He had brought for her hair to fit in her hair, to decorate her hair. But what is the use? She had cut her hair very short and it was of no use. So for that, tears had come in her eye. Beautiful combs, pure tortoise shell with jewelled rims, just the shade to wear in the beautiful vanished hair. They were expensive combs, she knew, and she was longing for those combs. She was longing for those decorative combs to buy. From long time she was waiting to buy. She knew, and her heart had simply carved and earned over them without the least hope of possession. And she knew that, okay, she knew that she could not buy those combs because those were very expensive combs. She could not possess those combs because they were very expensive. So she had did not buy till now. But Jim had bought for Della for this Christmas. And now they were hers. But now Jim had bought, it was hers. But what is the use? Hair, she was not having hair now. But the dresses that should have adorned the coveted adornments were gone. So what is that dresses? Dresses is things to hold that for the gift. Those were gone. The hair were not there now. What combs were bought for her that was useless now. But she hugged them to her bosom. At length she was able to look up with the dim eyes and a smile and say, "My hair grows so fast, Jim." So but she is convincing herself and she is telling to Jim, "Don't worry, Jim. Okay, my hair will grow very fast. When my hair become long, I will use these combs. I will decorate my hair with these combs," she is telling. And then Della leaped up like a little signed cat and cried, "Oh, oh!" Jim had not yet seen this beautiful present. She held it out to him eagerly upon her open palm. So now it is her turn. Jim gave his gift to Della. Now it is Della's turn to show her gift to Jim. So she is taking out that platinum chain and she is holding that chain in her palm and she is showing him. The dull precious metal seemed to flash with the reflection of a bright and ardent spirit. So that metal, okay, platinum is not so shiny and bright like gold or silver, but still it is able to shine because that what is there, that with that spirit she is showing, so that metal has got some ardent, some brightness. Okay, with that it is gleaming. "Isn't it dandy, Jim? I hunted all over town to find it. You will have to look at the time 100 times a day now. Give me your watch. I want to see how it looks on it." So she is asking, you give your watch, golden watch. I will remove that leather strip and I will put this platinum chain for your gold watch. I will see how it looks. I want to see. Instead of obeying, Jim tumbled down on the couch and put his hands over the back of his hand and smiled. So Jim, what he did, instead of giving that watch, what he did, he sat down on the couch helplessly. He did not give that watch. Okay, he put his hand back and he was smiling and he sat down on the couch or the sofa. "Dell," said he, "let's put our Christmas presents away and keep them a while. They are too nice to use just at present. I sold the watch to get the money to buy your combs, and now suppose you put the chops on." So what he had done, he also was not having money. He was running out of money. So what he had done, he had sold his gold watch to buy the beautiful combs for her hair. So that was the things what they had done. The only possessions, only valuable possessions what they had. Jim's valuable possession was the gold watch and Della's valuable possession was her long hair. So those two of them, each of them, what they did, they sold out their valuable possessions for each other to buy gift for each other. So what Jim had done, Jim had sold his gold watch to buy beautiful combs for her wife Della. the Maggie. So this is the thing. Okay, this instance they could not forget in their life. So because of what they did all this, their valuable possessions also they sold. For what they sold? Why did they sell? Because they loved each other. They wanted to buy gift to each other. They wanted to gift each other on this Christmas evening. So for that love, to feel them happy or to feel each other special, they are they are losing their precious possessions also to buy the gift for each other. So that was the story of Jim and Della. Okay, so to see each other happy or to buy gift for each other, both of them what they are doing, they are selling their most valuable possessions and they are buying the gift. Okay, after buying the gift also what we can see there, those gifts are of no use to each other, because whatever the gifts they bought for each other, for what purpose they had bought, that possessions only were not there. Okay, so that was the thing what they did. The Magi, as you know, were wise men, wonderfully wise men who brought gifts to the babe in the manger. They invented the art of giving Christmas presents. So Magi means who here? In the beginning only, in the introduction part only I said, Magi were the three wise kings who had travelled from the east, particularly from Persia they had travelled. For what they had travelled? They had travelled to see Jesus who was born, okay, newborn Jesus, and they only invented this tradition of giving gifts on the Christmas. They invented the art of giving Christmas presents. Being wise, their gifts were no doubt wise. So these were three wise kings and their gifts also were very wise ones, possibly bearing the privilege of exchange in case of duplication. And here I have lamely related to you the uneventful chronicle of two foolish children in a flat who most unwisely sacrificed for each other the greatest treasures of their house. But in a last word to the wise of these days, let it be said that of all who give gifts, these two were the wisest. Of all who give and receive gifts, such as they are wisest. Everywhere they are wisest. They are the Magi. So this Jim and Della are compared to the Magi. They were like Magi only, those kings only, because they had brought gift to each other. Okay, with their full wisdom. Okay, the wisest gifts they had brought to each other, but it was of no use. So that was the lesson, the gift of Magi. Hope you all have understood this lesson. If you have not understood, you can just play the video twice, thrice, and you can go through my explanation once again. The notes of this lesson I will be giving you. So children, I request you, if you have not made the admission, if you have not bought the books, please come, do your admission, collect your books and try to write all your notes in your new notebooks. Okay, so that is my request to you all. Office is open from 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. So as soon as possible, please come and do your admissions and get your books and do your work on time. Thank you very much.